All right, Jimmy's on his way. In the interim, I'm going to just turn this on because I haven't seen it enough.
Morning, man.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Great. Oh, like when I say I'm all right, I just mean I'm all right. I don't mean I'm good.
Where's it? You know,
Like,
you're like,
actually.
yeah. That's
No, and so I'm glad that I'm here because I get to chill with you and do some fun stuff today. Like I was a little bit rushed today. I got to spend a little bit of time in the metaverse, but most of the day I was dealing with sussing out government documents. So I really need some
just a
giant
chill time.
robot statues and
yeah, dude. I think after a day after handling any government form, an hour after handling government forms, I think just some time to like.
I got a whole another day to look forward to it tomorrow. It's great.
Fun. But then you get to come back to the Canada, which,
Maybe. I don't know. They might kick me out because I don't know how to do this simple form. I mean, I boot them out because they don't know how to write forms.
Right? You'd think it would be just relatively simple.
No, it's doubly painful because it literally took us like 2 hours to do it in Japan. Like it's like,
boo.
But how are you? How was your weekend?
Sure. Yeah, I was up hanging out with the cause kids. There's of course an impending tragedy there, so dealing with all that stuff and trying to keep everything going. I was saying in the team chat how amazing it is to be sort of helping my brother go through what's going to end up being the worst time of his entire life by far. and trying to take as much weight off his shoulders while I can be up there as I possibly can, right? Which for me is just super easy compared to what he's going through. But then coming into the Uplift chat, the team chat, and just getting a full triple espresso dose of the momentum that's coming back. I'm really grateful for it. I'm pulling the game up. We can do some gratitudes here in a minute. But that's been really good. And getting better. And there's like a whole backlog of shit that I have to do, right? Like the biggest problem in my, personal work life right now is that too many people are interested in the Ethereum world. Like too many big projects. And like my biggest thing is like I'm the bottleneck to getting them on their land so that they can start building and create some more momentum and so we can get into that next phase that it's going to be twice as big, right? So that's sort of like, I'm back in the office now. I just need to like tune everything out for probably the rest of the day and just get those bottlenecks out of the way. And I think I gotta have Jen and Callie, I think, are going to come in and help me sort of stay on top of that because it's going to get crazier, right? We're going to go from 35 products to 100 pretty fast, which is a blessing. It's a big deal that we're sort of gaining the momentum that we are. Anyway, sorry, I'm
it kind of sucks when other people cause you problems. Like I know, right? Like you're causing me a shit ton of problems right now. Like you're really causing me so many problems, right? Like because I'm going in, I'm spinning up these shows of all these Ethereum people that are coming here, and then I'm having to like chase down the links to go over to their websites, and I end up on OpenSea spending fucking Ethereum that I don't have, right? You know the feeling though, right? There's a lot of really cool projects coming in, right? Like we've got some good shows coming.
It's funny,
this week.
So I just had my meeting with Austin. And of course he's running up the team of people that we brought in to do business coaching and stuff with us, which is really valuable. Thankfully, I'm going to be meeting with Chase actually tomorrow. It's like hit like a freaking max weight for a while, like because it's like a full deal, right? I'm going to start working on the health part of our whole journey. Anyway, that's not the point. Point is, he started mentioning, we started talking about like doing NFTs or whatever. He's like, yeah, is it really the right time to do NFTs? Because NFTs are kind of down. I'm like, Austin, shut the fuck up. Meet me at camera one, Austin, right? He's like, no, like we do this now. It takes a little bit of work, but it just have to develop momentum, right? Like, the market cap of daily volume on NFTs went from like 60 quadrillion down to like 10 quadrillion, right? It's still, it doesn't, for the people that are working, it doesn't matter, right? Getting sucked into that attitude that it's a down moment. I told him the story. I think I've told you this story about when I started as a musician, right? So I didn't know anything at all. So we wanted to get booked up. So my acoustic partner buddy and I just went to a bunch of bars and said, hey, like we're going to play for free. If you guys want to buy us a beer, that's great. But we're pretty good. I mean, and what if you suck? Like if after one song we suck, like just tell us to leave and we'll leave. It's fucking middle of the afternoon, right? Whatever. Of course, nobody ever did because we were actually pretty good. And those, the demos, and I was telling Austin this today, we did about 15, 16 demos like that. All of them but one turned into places we did paid gigs at almost once a week for 5 years, right? Like it set up our whole career, the work that we did for free in those moments. And then we found out a month later that we started meeting other musicians. They said, how the fuck did you get booked up 9 shows a week during the down season? And we didn't know that it was the down season, right? Like that's the whole thing. We had no clue it was the down season. It never entered our thoughts. I will give anyone shit that talks about this being the down season. This is when the real fucking hardcore people get to work and show everyone how it's done.
Well, and I think it's a great time to launch NFT projects too, right? Because like everybody is probably, looking at the Ethereum or Wax or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure that there's a lot of whales out there that have stacked up stuff and made money trading and stuff like that. But like for me, like I don't like to touch my principal, right? Like I don't want to pull my stake Wax out, right?
Yeah.
I want to sit on that for a few years, right? So when I have to go into the markets, right, essentially I have to put new money in. And so in down market is the best time, I think, to like accumulate NFTs because they tend to not lose their value as fast as tokens or other projects. And when the project gets going and it kicks off, I think it's just well worth holding it. Right? My problem with NFTs though is like I probably won't sell most of them. Just like,
So this is why, I mean, ultimately, this is why I bought because I think the things we're all talking about, right? Oh, I just went to that's not what I wanted to do. Where is is there a back out thing? There isn't.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Mrs. hiccuping in the background.
Oh, that's funny. I just ended up at that new NFT Kids server. Which is awesome. Nice. Sorry, what were we talking about before everything got weird?
No, we're gonna go do some gratitudes, and then I have a little bit of a plan today that like some cool things that I think we should see. Like, because we got some interesting people coming on the show this week. So we're doing tomorrow. We're doing Bootstrap kind of call with the new moon accelerator group that we're involved with, Bootstrapping community, and so that's going to be fun. You can tune into that on our YouTube channel. Most of those chats are public or group oriented, but we're going to involve the community. It's a really cool project. Last week we sat in on a rather interesting discussion about what is community and how to create community, and so we're kind of going to take it out from there, which will be really fun. So tune into that at a regular time. I think after that we have Rainbow Mosho, who is quite a young artist awesome. Who's doing some really cool stuff. Very empowering story. I think we have Austin this week as well.
Yeah,
on Wednesday.
Yeah,
and we also have this other project with coming to us called Block Cities. They're basically a virtual twin Earth.
They're going to end up having an embassy in near NFT the movie. They're friends of theirs.
Very cool. And yeah, on Wednesday, like you said, we that's tomorrow as well. On Wednesday we have Austin Linney at a regular 9 o'clock time. And I might even try to stay up for this one, depending on how I feel, because I'm pretty stoked about this one. Well, it's going to be really late for me. It's OXO Metaverse Music Label, which is basically the Void Bored Ape Yacht Club kind of affiliate. I went to their site today, OpenSea site.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty ballin' stuff there. I mean, like the first their promo one is Hello Tokyo, and it's flipping awesome, man. Like I haven't Tokyo, but like
yeah, this is the thing, man. Like we need to make a lot more money in Ethereum, because like I went in and you were talking about like I definitely haven't been buying a whole lot of NFTs recently. A few on wax. Like I had this artist guy on. His are pre-fun or whatever, so I bought a few of those. But that conversation we had with Sebastian, around Void and I'm a DJ and the Win Lambos, whatever. I unstaked some wax for that and went in and like bought a little pile of them. And like it's the first time, and it's a couple different reasons. One, like I think like investment wise, I'm really comfortable with it. Again, long term, I'm not trying to flip anything in a couple months, but in a few years, the idea that these won't be a lot more valuable than they are now is absurd to me. So that makes it easy. And on the flip side, I started having business ideas around them. Like I need these things so that I can go and do other things with them, right? And it's the kind of thing that I want to learn anyway, right? Like, and I'm super fascinated, by the way, with the idea that we can, we were talking to them, we could take, the Uplifters tower, where we are right now, right? We could take this as a Blender file and create content with one of those voids walking around in it, right? Or the tower covered in my Win Lambo little fucking monsters or whatever, right? And again, like that, and then once we boot that stuff up to Unreal 5, just like it's clear to me that these are the kinds of pieces that will, playing with them is going to show me where all of this stuff is headed in a more visceral way, right? Down to the point where like, we can make object files for builds right now. Right.
There's some pretty good 3D models on the back end that we've seen.
I mean,
there.
this is a thing that can happen, right? So anyway, yeah. So that I went a little bit crazy on that, but with the intent that like I can make a revenue generating business that will make far more than what I spent on them.
Well,
So
it's interesting because I think I talked about, the writer guys, the MetaCollect guys, and how they came up with this idea of the board Calvin doing their tweets and stuff, right? They own the IP.
Yeah.
So I wanted to test this out. So I went and I got, a Void. I sent you the image of it. I quite like mine. I always have to find something that resonates with me. But there was a rainbow colored one wearing shades, smoking a pipe, and had a hoodie on. And it almost looked like a carbon copy of like something out of Fear and Loathing. I was like, how perfect is that? Just to sum up, the ideologies behind Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. You got this guy who's just messed up out of his mind, right? But on the inside, he's like on the outside, he's trying to appear normal, but on the inside, he's just rainbow of emotion, basically. And so
rainbow of emotion.
So I was like, this is pretty cool, right? And so I wanted to test out this theory, right? And so I went on and I introduced myself and my Void, and the amount of new follows and new likes and new hits that I got just from that one tweet from my account, right, was insane, right? Like I have so many new friends now. Like it's ridiculous.
I didn't even know we could do that. So I definitely should do that. Can you hit me on that? Hit me on that tweet. Okay. Well, here's another thing. Right? Do your gratitude. And anybody, we got 3 people watching. Please do a gratitude. Let's do this right now. I need to figure out which one I should sort of pick as like the me one.
Corey.
Yeah. Now I want to.
The Corey.
I have this like I started getting ones that have shirts that were clearly like almost clear, right? Because I have this weird idea of like getting it into a Blender file and just getting the outline of my my Uplift avatar and just putting that guy on the shirt, right? Because we should be able to do it in Blender. Anyway, I have fucking stupid ideas. Anyway,
no, I think it's a great idea. Actually, I really like it. I like the fact that your avatar will wear your avatar.
Yeah, it's like meta, like
right.
Meta.
So this is gonna be a weird one for me, but like I'm actually grateful for NFT IP ownership rights. Because I think this is just starting to be explored, and I didn't really tap into the whole scenario of it, and people aren't really using it that much right now. But
yeah,
like I can do anything with that Void that I want. I can put it on a T-shirt, and the interesting thing about it is it moves, so I can move it around and angle it and take weird pictures with it, right? Like it's not like just a picture, can make, right?
And we should make Jimmy like. For like, as part of the Uplifters, we should do a drop where we, you have your, avatar and I have my avatar. We learn the basic idea of Blender, right? Which is a non-trivial thing or whatever. But we basically just like take the two of them and like just play with them, right? And then, make, a few little animations or whatever, just fuck around. But that's a whole other NFT line, right? That we can do as a special drop as a function of our learning or whatever. But then every single one of those NFTs is going to be able to be used at Top Custom Mugs to put them on a mug, and ultimately there's going to be 100 other things that Andre's setting up so that we can do that, right? Like, so that to me is like the closing the loop for everyone. From I have an NFT, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, cool. We'll make a whole other. If you have the IP rights to it, obviously it's a one-of-one, right? You can make a whole other NFT line based on that, and have those set up pre-designed to be put on T-shirts. Like that's the whole point, right? Or put on mugs or whatever, and it'll automatically work in things like Top Custom Mugs that Andre's building. And I think that's going to be a genre, right? Other projects are going to figure this out, and getting that stuff squared away. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting. The other thing that I'm working on with Andre to figure out, and I think he's more or less got it sorted, is percentages, right? So you own that, your Void, but I really want your Void on my T-shirt, just the plain one, right? But it's a 1-on-1, so I go get a T-shirt on that, you get a cut, like right off the bat, right? So those anything that are 1-in-1s, you're gonna be able to put in the system and basically allow other people to, print, merch from that NFT specifically, and you'll get a cut of the proceeds, right? Which is super important. Tramp City Coach, feeling grateful for having a choice. Yeehaw. Jordan, would love a gratitude from you as well, please. Let me just get these up. We'll,
I think it's pretty exciting. There's a few things I want to cover today, and go through today. But like first, I think that's a great idea that we have a look at yours. But I want to show mine, man, because I almost left the show early just because I didn't want anyone to like take this. So I was like, right? Like
it is a really good one,
right? And it's just like it just so reminds me of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Perfectly right. And so, yeah, I was thinking about, again, like, I don't wear hoodies, but like, if I was trying to blend in, I probably would, right? And so I was just thinking about, all the interesting things that I could do with this. And I thought about a couple ideas, and it just got my mind spinning. And it got to the point where I actually started talking to real people in the real world. I don't do that very often. Like most of the conversations I have are figments of my imagination, right? I mean, you're just a part of the void. I don't even know if you exist, Corey. But so with Fight Club, metaversal factors of interpretation, really. But it's interesting. I talked to 3 people that are like real world artists, essentially. That like were like, I don't know. And within the hour, they called me up and they're like, actually, I need to learn more. I want to know more. Like, how do I make money and quit my shitty job? Like, because I'm stressed out because I'm having to do what I love to do, which is art, in my free time. Right? And I think NFTs might be the gateway to that better life for a lot of real world artists or businesses or musicians, right? I'm just pretty over the moon with the possibilities.
Yeah, it's gonna be that. If you guys haven't seen that episode that we did with Sebastian, he was there as his void. We're gonna learn how to do that. We should actually just have him back, Jimmy, again. Like see if he'll do it. And where we just like, it's not an episode about all the fun stuff. It's like how the fuck can we show up on OBS, walk us through the process, dig deep into the right, like almost like an instructional thing. Like we're gonna get to the point where we're on OBS and we're showing up as our things or whatever,
right? And like, yeah, these guys are killing it. So I think they're like, this is quite interesting as well. I'll put this up.
Oh,
not sure why it's not showing. Should be showing. There we go. It's loading. Now this is the guest that we're going to have on, I think, on Wednesday. And this involves the void. It also involves the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I don't know why it's so slow to load, but it's got a ton of really cool stuff. They're a DAO. There's your void. I think we watched that video earlier. They're creating, music-based NFTs. Like, it's pretty epic what they're doing. I mean, I went in and I didn't even actually realize that there were 4 different varieties. There was the cassette tape, the record player, the CD, and the DVD. But like, man, these like Bored Ape, Medicine Man, Hello Tokyo NFTs are really well done. These music videos, like, I kind of got yelled at by the missus because like my daughter was saying goodnight and I was sucked in and I was just like, that's the cover image of mine, right? But like yeah, have you seen these yet, Corey?
No, I haven't. I haven't been to their site yet.
I'll send you the YouTube link. We should watch it. But you can go over here to OpenSea and you can buy them, and it's pretty amazing. Like, if you get one of these tokens, I think then you actually become a DAO member, and it's quite interesting that each of these represent, the membership of the DAO. I mean, I like that idea that, you actually have a piece of art or an asset or a music thing that represents the DAO, right? So
right.
But yeah, there's a few. There's the DGen 1 ones. Like that Hello Tokyo seems to be the most popular. I think I read it was the first 3D Bored Ape artist was Medicine Man. That's what it says on the NFT thing. And so OXO is a full-service metaverse music label, production house, and management firm run by the team music-loving futurists and members of OXO DAO. Each OXO DAO token represents your fraction of the label's ownership.
Yeah.
Visit us at OXO for more details, right? And so now you have these DAO tokens that have fractionalized the label, which is a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm probably not going to sleep on Wednesday and come and hang out because I want to know more about this this line. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But
all right, so here is what I have to choose from. No, let's stop sharing that. That's dumb. I don't know if any of these really fit. Like, I might have to go get more Ethereum and pick another one. But like, I don't know. You tell me if any of these pop out.
Yeah, so I saw a couple of them out. It's interesting. I looked at the chef hat one with the red shirt. I quite like that one as well.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. And I also the flower in the middle is good. But honestly, like, it's funny because it's a little bit bizarre. But like the one in the yellow basketball jersey,
yeah,
I quite like. Like, that's
me too.
pretty good. It does have the halo, and you do like, but. Yeah, you do kind of.
I've been getting.
Jerseys, but.
Yeah, so and this is the thing, like the basketball jersey thing. I like obviously it's not really me, but it says DGen on it, so I'm like, I'm clearly, in my own humble opinion, Team DGen, like all day long. So
well, and the funny thing about it too is, remember, like the Void, they're like from another universe, they're from another planet, and they're trying to fit in. And how better to fit in than, like, you know, in Florida by wearing a basketball jersey, really, right? Like,
done.
Isn't that the thing?
That's, you just picked it. That's the one. And yeah, one of the things that you know, again, you know, I need to go and get the object file and play with it or whatever, because I'd like to get, you know. I'd like to get a shot of it, you know, that we can start messing around with or whatever, right? So again, you know, and this is the other thing. I gotta talk to Sebastian about it. Whether we should invite the team to come in and make a plot, right? Part of me is thinking about just fucking building it myself. Which is like the last thing I need is more work to do because I'm way behind. But like, how much fun would it be to, like, you know, go in and offer a spot up to, you know, 50 voids, because I really want to understand this project and its community better, right? So it probably makes sense to just team up with Sebastian and do it, but like, I want to, you know, like, what if, Jimmy, we, you know, were to make like a quick and dirty build and say, hey, listen, like the first 50 people that get us their void that they, you know, can prove they own or whatever, right? We'll put up, you know, in a thing. Like, how much is 50 pictures right now in Upliftio? Like,
I don't know, because I pre-bought a whole bunch, so I'm not.
I know, right? Oh yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Like, I'm donating a bunch of Upliftium for builds as well, but it's not crazy, right? So I don't know. We
had that other worlds build contest where we got quite a few. If you haven't checked it out, go to where we had all the alpha.com.
Yeah, that really went well way done. Better than I thought it was going to be super fair.
And like they were really cool builds, and it got me thinking too about, you know, some other ideas, which is interesting because, like, we were just talking about the OXO, right? Now the OXO is a DAO.
Yeah.
Now, what happens? Just spitballing here, but what happens if the DAO got a piece of land, and you know, just whoever they decided was whitelisted to it, and they just came in and they just built out, you know, their OXO DAO club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that piece of land, for example, went into the DAO treasury, and all of the rewards for their DAO project, you know, got split amongst all their members or did something for their treasury. Now, this would have nothing to do with us; it would have to do with them. But the possibilities of metaversal land, as home bases, right? Like,
right.
As yacht clubs,
this is the fucking future for sure. You know, as far as like integrating with what we're doing. I mean, and like talking to ApeSwap, like the ApeSwap team, and all that reminds me, I need to get them. I need to get them booked on the show. Because they introduced us, that they like got 5 other projects that are coming in. Like, they're gonna have a little corner. We need to figure out, like, they're having the creative versus survival debate on their team, and it's like it's heated. Right? Like,
can we have them on the show and let them have it here? Like,
that is a great idea. Yes. That's a
bring
really
them on.
fun idea.
Let's do it live. We did that like a year and a half ago.
So many times.
Right?
In fact,
It's
say
tough.
something interesting. I'm messaging them about this immediately so that we can have this talk. So I think that's super fucking fun.
Yeah. So if you don't know, our second, well, not our second, but like, so we had the lift-off event where we put kind of everything that exists on sale. And, we sold a bunch of it. But then, we started releasing out more plots for a 24-hour auction that, we're still in our coffers. There was a couple people that were like, oh, I wish we would have had more notice. Like, I kind of think that this is going to be a regular thing, which I kind of like. I was able to go in and scoop up a couple more plots in regions that I was interested in. And I know a few others were as well. They're not necessarily events that we're, promoting, but I like it because I kind of fell a little bit behind, but I like it because I got contacted by a few other people. And, they wanted to connect to the gratitude rail and whatnot. So I haven't been writing the last couple of days because actually, thanks to, Tuttle, we were able to put a station right next to Spawn. And so that rail, actually, if you come out of Spawn on Gratitude and you turn left and walk down the little path that I bashed out with a shovel, you can ride it, all the way down, through pretty much the whole server until you get to the bottom. I mean, well, you will be able to get to the bottom if Michael EOS EOS gets his shit together and whitelist me to a bot so we can get a rail across that EOS USA one. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to put together another post on the gratitude rail. So if you have plots in gratitude, like there's somebody way up in the top corner, they want to connect, like, yeah, that's going to be a mission because it's got to contact through all those people. But yeah, I wrote it with a couple people the other day. They were just, in Metaverse, and they came by and I was working on the rail design and they were like, oh, that's pretty cool. So we took a ride together and went and checked it all out. And it's pretty awesome, man. So I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, I went deep, right? Like I know a few people got 8 properties, right? Like it's hard not to. I mean, there was still some bigger properties that I was actually going to bid on, but like I actually fell asleep and then I woke up and I came out and I'm like, I went to check to see if anyone had outbid me on the one property that I got, and I hadn't been outbid. But then I realized that like the auction was over. I'm like, damn it, now I got to wait till next month. So it's really good.
That's funny.
But again, if you guys are out there and you're building, hit me up. I don't know if you've been plugged into what the Jumbie Art guys are doing. I know you had NFT Mike on. Yeah, so you know that they've been like killing the giant robot builds across the server?
I actually didn't know they had anything to do with that.
So we went and visited on the last episode that Mike was on with me. We went and visited the Voltron build.
Yeah.
Like this one was done in London. And they had to use underwater potions to be able to get above the water so that they could start building.
Crazy.
And it's like this massive tower of Voltron. It's so well done. So I covered that last week. It was pretty good. It's on the blog, 5 or 6 posts ago. But today I went over and I had a look at the Iron Man. And they got an Iron Man in Genesis that's an old school Iron Man, like old school, like not like new Marvel, like the old school, like comic Marvel, like Iron Man's. Dude, it's so good. We should go check it out if you're up for it. Like it's really well done.
Let's do it. Yeah, I saw your article on it. We should actually post the article in the comments too.
I did. It's up a little bit.
Awesome. Cool.
But yeah, it's really well done. And some of these giant robot builds, like they just fit so well with it just fits so well with the walkiness of the Uplift World. So
yeah, I agree. All right.
Yeah, this one is let me find it. Genesis 3223 4573. 3223.
All right, just pull the server back up.
I think I got that right. Unless I messed it up because it doesn't look right.
3273.
But for some reason it seems like I might have that one. 3270 by 4580. That would be 3270.
Whoa.
We can't see your screen.
Yep.
Like, and these things are just like massive monolithic towers, right? And they're just so good.
Take it away.
Oh, it's really. And it's weird because it's like a creative world, but like, yeah, there's some really interesting things below the ground as well. Now, I mean, like, this is really impressive, even for creative, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I'll drop the one for Voltron in. I like this one because you can actually fly around it. The one problem with the and you can take some cool pictures, right? Because you can just fly. But the Voltron one in London, you need to use what do you call it?
What is that? Tales of the Crypto. All right.
You need to use what's it called?
Jimmy, what do you think about?
Elytra. Sorry, you need to use Elytras.
Oh yeah. What do you think about setting up a billboard in the portal hub, and then once we get our shit together on the spawns, about like with a QR code that is a link to like just getting all the information in for an article, right? Like whatever that process is now, because like I mean, this you went and got this, which is awesome, right? But like, why have we? I don't know what this is. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, we need people to start submitting, and like honestly, they're really easy. There is a whole channel that in the Discord that like gives you a form, and like I know people don't like forms, but like basically, here's the form: the coordinates. If there's a map link, how are you going to send Jimmy your photos?
Yeah,
so that he knows where to look for them.
Right.
Your Twitter, handle, so that we can shout you out and say this is awesome, or so that we can get in contact with you and ask you for any questions. And that's pretty much it for the Uplift, tour bus ones, right?
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool, right? And so, like, I know there's a lot of people like bombing around, like take.
Yeah, so I think
photos, right?
All I can think of is that people like we just need to find people where they're at a little bit, right? And if they're in here, like maybe they don't watch the show, maybe they didn't know about that. You know what I mean? Like just having some place that's world specific, so that we just like reduce that friction even more. Like if you've ever been to the Spawn Hub, you're gonna see the billboard there that says like, "Hey, we can't get to all the interesting things you guys are building, so submit it yourself, and we'll put it up on the blog." Right?
Right.
For sure.
I'd like to figure out a way, like if anyone knows how to do this as well, like it's something that we could maybe plug into the DAO later. But I'd actually like to figure out a way for people to be able to submit their own posts and throw it up there, and potentially even figure out an interesting reward system where we could tip other people Upliftium or something like that. There's a number of interesting ways around that.
I love that idea. Have an Upliftium tip button on the actual article, right? So that if you wrote an article, actually, this should exist anyway, where it'd have to be like it'd have to probably be attached to enter.theuplift though, right?
Again, though, there's some interesting things. So we've had this conversation.
It should be doable, though, right? So you have an article, and I just click a button, and it tips you like 100,000 Upliftium or something like that, right? And so, like, what does it actually need to know? It needs to know the wax address of the author, which we can provide. That's easy, right? For whoever wants to get in there. And then it has to basically just punch back to enter.theuplift. And again, once we have the transfer set up or whatever, right? Because like that's one of the things we're working on this year is so that people can transfer Upliftium in the game to each other. Then that should kind of work, right? And then like talk about fixing the incentive situation. Now, do you want to write an article now? Random people knowing that like people can read that and tip you Upliftium for it, like that.
Well, And what if we added this to it, right? Because I've talked to you about this before, and I think it's a really interesting idea. You've got the Meta Collect guys over there, Sean and Kenny, working with Nathan Rempel and now John Williamson. And John Williamson, he's behind Violet Garden, which was kind of hailed as the actual voice, the voice that actually works. And Voice had this really interesting idea where you could, tip, or let's just steal it, uplift other people's articles. And after a certain amount of time, if you uplifted their articles, the collect token people are going to do this with, their articles. Then the person who did it before will get their money back, and you'll kind of have that article. Right? And so it's an interesting little kind of voting system. Now, what if we combine that? Because I mentioned this to Sean on his show. What if we combined that with a 1-of-1 NFT of that article, and whoever won that article at the end got to keep it as a 1-of-1 NFT, right? Like that.
Well, and then, oh man, look at all that stuff over there. Right. Hey, Jordan, I'm just coming to your Sky advert.
So
might not be interesting in the dark.
You would write the article.
Yeah,
people would
nice.
Tip it,
awesome.
And they would have to tip it more than the last person tipped it. And at the end of a 48 or 1 week window, or 48 hour, 72 hour window, or whatever, when the timer ran out, then that NFT of that article would be minted, and it would be sent to you, and you would own it, and you could do whatever you wanted with it. Like, that would be a really cool thing if we could implement it. I don't know how. I don't have the technical background about this, but like, if there's anyone out there that happens to be listening in the audience that would be interested in figuring something like this for the DAO out, I think it could be a really cool idea. That's a little bit freaky, but I like it.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna post it on. I'm taking. I don't know. These screenshots probably don't work, but I'm gonna try it out anyway. I'll post them on Twitter, Jordan. So come find me.
So
it's never dull.
Yeah. What shaders are you using? Well, whatever you're using, we need people that these don't work on a Mac, but.
I'm using Astralex. Apparently, Gary's giving me shit. It's too dark.
No, but I thought he meant it was too dark that you were coming out of the guy's head. Like I thought.
I mean, it is for sure. I'm fired. Options, video settings, brightness is set to whoop ass. Yeah, that's probably all I can really do on that without getting more crazy. Could always just make it daytime. I've got superpowers. Is Corey using a texture pack with the shaders? Yes. Oh yeah, Gary said the guy's head's too dark. Yeah, I mean it's clearly made for daytime satellite viewing. But some light elements would be pretty cool. Gary, his shader setup is crap though. I mean, everyone knows that's true. I've tried it a bunch of different times. I am a little busy. What are you gonna do? Little pentagram, because why not get weird? Look how dark this one is, Gary. What is this one anyway? Right on something.
Yeah, man. Again, if you haven't done it, go to Where We Hide All the Alpha and check out some of the builds that we've done recently. Like, there's some pretty cool ones over there. Whoa, what was that giant sword?
It wasn't a sword. Oh, it is a sword. Bet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's making something.
Is that it? That's
all right, it. I'm doing it.
Is that a zombie dude? Wow. That's an Enderman. Nice. That's really well done, actually.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's a house. That's the other thing we got to do. Gary said, check this building out. Are you? Did you send me something?
I did.
Jimmy, sorry. Yeah,
we can do it later
in a second. Yeah,
no rush at all.
Gary, did you have? I'm just gonna wait and see if Gary is actually talking about that. One of the things, Jimmy, that I think we should, if not prioritize, then figure out how to put into the dev schedule is getting a build for the blog, like an actual piece of land for the blog. Oh, here's the actual mall gallery. What's up?
Right. Yeah, I
sigh.
One of the worst things right now in my with this job that I do here, these uplifter people, is that I actually don't have time to build, which is really problematic. Like,
yeah, I hear you.
So I saw that's really cool.
Horse?
I don't think that I think that's new actually.
I haven't seen this one before at all.
I shout out to a bunch of people, Silver Eye, Chris P, Swine Landing Game, Chris Cottrell, Chia Pet, the guys over at Darkness Rising and his crew. J Rob, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm on the Juno or Emmy Awards or something. But like a ton of people, just listened to me their plots and filled chests with materials and G Kid had me come over to his plot in London, which turned into a whole article, and I picked up like tons of rail and tons of andesite and diorite and stuff that we were able to use just to throw down on the tracks. I went and bought a bunch at the shops and stuff like that, so it's pretty good. The gratitude rail came along quite well. It was a hack job, really. Like I just put a few stations in here and there, but mostly like it's too long. So it's there now, and if people want to adapt and move it when it's on their land, go for it. Yeah, G Kid's great. So is Chia. Chia has a really good builder. Silver Eye as well. So Silver Eye's builder we just featured not so long ago, and yeah, it's pretty amazing too. So.
Indeed. Is this Shiftyville or whatever they call it? I think it is.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
This is Shift City.
Just came at it from a weird angle.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was a weird angle, yeah. Yeah, that bridge is pretty cool.
Yeah, right?
So again, if you guys are fans of any Ethereum projects, we're still looking for a few to have on the show and interview and see if they're good enough to be in DGen 1 or Ethereum.
Yeah, and those they're getting we're definitely going to pack it out. It's going to take a little while longer, but the projects that we're getting in to come be part of our new communities out there and ultimately get connected to the rest of our whole ecosystem, I'm pretty fucking excited about it, to be fair. It's going pretty well. Yeah, I want to get a good enough vantage of this, and then I want to actually send this to. I want to kind of run some of these through the AR filter that I've been messing around with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for funsies. Anyway, what were we doing? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think we should watch this before we go because I just think it's awesome, and I want people to understand a little bit who these OXO people are so that they tune into the show. Because I think, again, as Corey mentioned, if you haven't looked at The Void, go and check that episode out that we did about them because they're a really cool project and they're not just a picture. They're really like ahead of their time in that sense.
Yeah.
But this is the OXO project that's connected to them and the Board 8 Yacht Club. And I mean, this video, like, it's just really good, and I want people to see it.
Okay, let's do it up, Buttercup.
Lost in the city lights, maybe the city will do me right. Sayonara to the drama, I can't take it anymore. Wait a minute, let me catch my breath. Something's wrong with me, I'm out of it. Another reason to let you pin. And if you're with me, then take me back. Ay, check the color of my polo and my Yeti. I'm a motor fresh. Take a photo. White tees from Uniqlo. White tees from Uniqlo. Wear them once and then we throw a photo. Take a photo. It's a Satoshi Nakamoto. Hello Tokyo, how you doing? What's been new? What you been wearing? I've been really meaning to call you, tell you that you're super, super Tokyo, how you doing? What you doing after the show? Let's hit up a club and Shibuya later on. Let's get lost in the city lights. Maybe the city will do me right. Do me right. Do me right. Hello, leader. I love you just. iPhone.
Like,
Let's take a snap.
it just opens up a whole new world of possibilities for IP
Yep.
and the ability to use your character in
Don't
something like
stand a
this. Right?
chance. Do you like Tiger EOS? I don't know, why don't you ask us? Shut the mate kudasai. Baby, baby, mushy, mushy, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. I remind you of the shower, 'cause I'm always on some fresh air. Hello, Tokyo, how you doing? What's been new and what you been wearing? I've been really meaning to call you, tell you that you're super, super Tokyo, how you doing? What you doing after the show? Let's hit up a club and Shibuya later on. Let's get lost in the city lights. Maybe the city will do it right. Too much drama, you need to get away. Let's get lost in the city, or maybe found in the city. And the city is living like it was some new religion. And you wear your religion like it was some true religion. And that's me in the corner, and I lost my religion. What part of this world are you live in? I think you might need a date. And these haters, oral fixation, they need a Google translation. Hey, come closer, take a photo. CDs and tapes and photos. And play a piano intro like Ryuichi Sakamoto. Hello Tokyo, how you doing? What's been new and what you been wearing? I've been really meaning to call you, tell you that you're super, super Tokyo, how you doing? What you doing after the show? Let's hit up a club and Shibuya later on. Do it. Hello Tokyo, how you doing? What's been new and what you been wearing? I've been really meaning to call you, tell you that you're super, super Tokyo, how you doing? What you doing after the show? Let's hit up a club and Shibuya later on. Do it.
OXO, they're going to be on the show with us on Wednesday, I think, 1 p.m. I mean, I'm super stoked to have them
he's
on,
joking.
man. Like, that's really
That's
good.
gonna, yeah, that's gonna be stuck in my head for roughly the next 14 years. Yeah, and they you know, we played that other one too, of the music video, The Voids, the band that got together and made that thing, and it's freaking incredible. Like that, like I don't know how they're doing that stuff, but it's really amazing. Yeah, Jordan was saying I keep trying to get projects to join, but they're worried about the ROI. What would you guys say to someone who's worried about the ROI? Yeah, if somebody's trying to figure out, again, people need to really understand what we're doing first, right? So they have a good context for it. Getting an embassy or an NFT gallery in one of these worlds is an instant eyeballs on your project kind of prospect, right? Short term, long term, all the terms, right? I think the real key benefits, what I'm already getting feedback on, and I didn't actually expect this to happen as much as it is, you're going to be in a couple of worlds in a community of 100 projects that are going to get to know each other, because I'm going to make sure of it. All right, like Jimmy and I are going to have them on the show. We're going to have panels. We're going to be doing all these things, right? They're going to get very connected to projects like ApeSwap, to projects like NFT the movie, and then the lawyers that helped us get the Uplift and set up our DAO are going to have a thing there, right? So like the projects that are extremely well trusted partners of ours are going to be in there. Our freaking crypto accountants are going to have a spot in there, right? So like being connected to this network in a visceral long-term way, if people don't immediately get the power of that, we do not want them there, right? Because the thing is, like, we're looking for projects that are awesome, but that are going to get what we're actually trying to build here, right? And that's about community. Like when I talked to Julian and Tars from ApeSwap as an example, they've got 210 projects connected to them already. Most of them are on Binance Smart Chain, but they got a few on Ethereum. They're like super stoked, and they immediately they saw this as, man, I'm so excited to come in here and do this, and just even in the content that we can create when you have those builds or whatever, it's very, very exciting. Is it okay if we introduce a couple of our friends? Yes, right. So they're going to have a community of 5 or 6 builds around there. But like, what does this end up meaning when they're getting introduced to 100 other projects that are on Ethereum that we, Jimmy and the team and I, have decided are going to be good neighbors? Because if I don't think they're going to be good neighbors, they're not fucking in, right? It's too important. Yeah, we want to get to 100 projects, right? And I'm actually pretty bullish on our ability to do that in the short term. But it needs to make sense, right? It needs to be people that, and like the conversations I'm having with ApeSwap, the conversations I'm having with NFT the movie, Jeff Crane, like they get it. They viscerally get it that we are building a long-term community. And that's the point, right? Crypto's down, NFTs are down. Who gives a shit, right? We're looking for the people that are running, gunning, and ready to go. If people are looking for a short-term flip, stay the fuck away. If you get any sense and you're talking to a project that's looking at that like in that way, I absolutely do not want to talk to them, and I'm dead serious.
Yeah, and like we're bootstrapping the hell out of this, which means that like pretty much all of our energy is going into this, like getting the DAO on its feet to run. Now, what happens when all of these projects that are surrounded by all of their friends, start having, open server events, giving out passports, bringing people in to like view galleries or attend PvP events? That's where things are going to start to get really interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're not there yet. And I mean, we're not there yet because we need more manpower, which is going to come from the DAO, right? Like once these communities these committees go into full force, once the roles go into full force, it's going to free up a lot more time for a lot more people to do what they're good at. And like, marketing is going to become this thing that just happens like, on the side. And it's, of course, there's going to be a push towards it, but like the best marketing is always organic marketing, right? It's not going out there and shilling a project that has, no value, or you're going to be able to make money. Or you're going to be able to sell stuff. Now, of course, I mean, it's NFTs, it's ownership rights. If you want to sell your plots, that's more than fine and dandy. But I would imagine most of the people, pretty much all of the people who are coming into these Ethereum worlds, they're not looking to sell. They're looking at making a home, right? They're looking at like creating this community or this connection with other communities that are around them, where like they can hang out and they can go and they can play and they can create and they can showcase all that they're building out there in the real world, right? Because there really doesn't exist a place to do that. And yes, there's other metaverses that people can do that, but it's a little bit different, right? You have to understand that we're actually using one of the most popular, the most popular game really ever created to do that. So there's a lot of things on the back end that we don't have to create. We don't have to, make. We don't have to establish. It's already there for us to use. And we're just, sometimes we have to play by their rules, but it gives us a giant head start. I think
that head start, exactly, right? Like we're not going to end up on Minecraft, because this is going to be around 10, 20 years from now. We're going to end up on Unreal 5, right? And no, it's not going to happen next month. Probably isn't even going to happen in the next like 1 or 2 years. Although I am putting a Skunks Works team together to figure out a little demo proof of concept, right? That hopefully will be out by the end of the year. It's clear where things have to go, right? we're building the network of people that ultimately is going to be the sticky thing no matter where anyone is, right? The reason why people don't, leave Facebook is because everyone's there, right? And so we bootstrapping that, whether you're a social platform or anything else, is all of the marbles, right? The tools, if it's flashy, none of that fucking actually matters at all, right? Are people there? Which is why, we've taken it upon ourselves to go and start building the way that we're building, right? We go and find projects, we find communities. And then, we serve communities and we serve the players, right? And if we do that enough and, create enough shared history, right? So that like a year from now, ApeSwap has their I don't know, temple to the freaking apes or whatever that whatever their first build is. And, they get to, go there a year from now and hopefully have the same, kind of hardcore vibes as I get when I walk into Cathedral 1.0, right? That's the goal. And you can't, that kind of stickiness, like that's the weirdness that I think, is what's going to keep people coming back over and over again.
We've got Zester's right. The ROI is community, right? And this is what a lot of projects need. They need people to hang out, right? And I mean, it's great. You can hang out in Discord, you can chat with somebody, but it's a little bit different. And I mean, if you, if they want to know, Corey, we need to figure out a way to do this, I think. And I'm not really sure how to do it without duct tape and headphones, on my mic. But at least once or twice, I've done it with Sean before. I want to figure out how to live stream one of our happy hours, because we do it on Twitter Spaces, where everyone's in world, running around, and it's awesome. Like if you're in there, you get to see it, right? But like for some of these projects that might not have that, I mean, I get it, but I want to be able to showcase what those live stream events look like in real time.
Right.
Sorry, not live stream events, what those Twitter Spaces look like in real time, because like this is what these types of projects can do for gallery openings or things like that, right? Like what happens if you have a group of people that come into a gallery and you give each artist a chance to speak about the work that everyone's looking at, right? Like what happens if you've got some commentators doing sports, right? Like communities like the TGE, the Grand Exchange, what happens if they're doing this Twitter Spaces or Brave Spaces, where they're racing and they're giving the commentary, right? This is where things for me start to get really interesting, right? But I think that's kind of where Jordan's like maybe has a slight point, is like it's really hard to just explain it, because honestly, I've said this to you before, I think our problem is that we do so freaking well, we go above and beyond what any other project is doing. People think that like we might just be like everyone else, where we actually have a working model, we actually have a working product, we actually have all of these flipping builds in world. It's not just a picture on a screen that somebody concocted. But
right, it's like all these clicker games start out with like a video that looks like it's going to be the best video game that to ever walk the face of the earth, and it's just like you get a piece of land that isn't anything and it spits out some token, where we actually have like vibrant functioning metaverse worlds that are all interconnected. So I mean that I think getting that, improving that experience, I think is work we totally want to do right now. Granted, like getting people actually in world, right? So the audio is on Twitch or what have you, but you actually have to be in world to experience it. Makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, like, and Zester, we have a Twitch channel already. Now, granted, like I would love to see, dedicated players who want to go in and play off of our Twitch channel, because we just do this show on it, right? So I know, it would make I'm sure there's a lot of low hanging fruit that, if we could sort of reach out to the DAO and see if people wanted to kind of start making content there. I'm not an expert there, so I don't know. But yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and if you guys are trusted, we're more than welcome to give you a spot on the show to go and do your thing. But I know there's a lot of people out there on networks that we don't even really plug into. Max Life and Darkness Rising, they're over on Theta. They live stream 2 or 3 times a week, from within world and stuff like that. So I think it's true. Our building. It's the RR building. You lost me. What's the
railroad building? Railroad.
Ah, the railroad.
Yeah.
Building.
You need to stream when you're building the radio. Yeah, I was thinking
It's
about
like
doing...
it's like it was fun for a while. It was, but that like it's a lot of walking backwards, man. That's a lot, like a lot of walking backwards, and a lot of climbing up ladders when I go over plot lines, like to extend the plot. But it was all right. I learned some really good like life hacks. It's like I never actually watched the coordinates until basically I had to dive in order to keep going. So this is kind of where I'm at too. Actually, Gary brings up a good point. I'd actually much rather have more interesting people than me and Corey streaming and metaverse action things. Right, like there's a lot of people out there who are amazing builders, who are putting on great events. I mean, a Chia's fishing event, for example, was a thing, right? Like the TGA, the TGE, they do their weekly racing events over in Gratitude at the Gratitude Raceway. Like Tuttle's Raceway, I think that one's almost done, right? Like the Rocket Gallery, they've got like tons of gallery openings and things like that, right? Like, so I think there's much more knowledgeable people than you and I, Corey, on certain aspects that like should definitely be streaming on their own channels. And if you are doing that, or if you know people who are interested in doing that, hit us up so that we can connect them to our people, so that our people can follow them, right? Like, because that's what we want, right? Like I don't need to be the one to write all the articles. Corey and I don't need to be the one to like cover all the events, right? Like any coverage is great for the DAO, right? Like we're all in this together. The more exposure the DAO gets, the better this is for us all, right?
Yeah, agreed. By the way, I just and this actually came out 5 days ago. It's been really busy. Nifty blends with tokens just went live a few days ago. Rocket Gallery NFT Kids opening. Yeah, I mean there's no way I could have done it, but like somebody should have been streaming that live. And that's something that I'll talk to Cowie as far as the events committee. Like just somebody should have been doing it. So I totally agree. Yeah, Mackie, I have a stream channel. I would like permission to stream more Uplift World content. You don't need permission from us.
Yeah.
Just do it. If you want a playlist or a slot on this channel, we'll set you up for sure. But yeah, you just go to town. If anyone is ever wondering like, oh, do I need permission to do X, ask us, because you probably don't, right? Like we ask that everybody uses the Uplift community logo as opposed to the Uplift logo when they do stuff like that, right? But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, reach out to us, because chances are we're just going to be over the moon excited that you want to do it, and wouldn't want to put anything in the way.
And I mean, honestly, like if any of you guys are as good in person as I am in writing, like stream every single one of those series, right? Like do an Uplift tour bus where you go to a dedicated build for 15 minutes every day. Like we do it sometimes here, Corey. We go and take pictures and selfies, but like spin up a mini series like this and capitalize upon it. Like, right? Like we don't need any kickback. Like the only kickback that we need is people in this ecosystem, so that the ecosystem grows, so that everyone in the DAO benefits. Right. Amen. And so as long as you're bringing something to benefit the DAO, like Corey said, like you don't need permission to do it. Right. Like we're a community. We're here to build. We're here to get exposure all together. Right. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's like, we're not copywriting any of this stuff. Right. Like, and you can walk by a building and take a picture of it and sell that picture in the real world. Right. I don't think this is any different.
And Jordan, like if this,
well, you should be able to, yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes you could, right? Like, but yeah, like Jordan, if you do that, like hit me up in the Discord, and we'll put a post together. We'll get people hooked up to your channel, so that they can tune in and watch it and share it out. And yeah, definitely. I mean, you can drop it in the chats as well, right? Like in the chat channel, when you go live, drop it in there and ask people to kind of meet you in world or do whatever, right? Like there's lots of possibilities. Yeah, I went to I missed the NFT Kids Gallery opening too. I was tied up and busy all weekend, but it was really cool. So I'm kind of excited to catch up on it. All right, well, I think that's it for today, mate.
Yeah, I think we crushed it.
Thanks for joining us, and yeah, tune in tomorrow if you can. Not really sure what's going to happen, but I think having as many of our community in the comments when we do this bootstrapping community will be really nice, because I'd love to see what you guys love about the Uplift community and why you're here and you know why you came and why you stuck around. And I mean, even we're going to be talking about different things. Like, throw your comments out there, because I think people in general really need to know you know, what this community brings. And yeah, we're okay, you know, out there on the media with the Twitters and the Twatters and whoever they're called, right? But like, it's in the world that the community is built, right? Like, I legitimately feel bad when I don't make it to gratitude ceremony because I'm sleeping, because that's a whole community that lives within our metaverse that I'm not really a part of anymore, right? Like, these people have taken this upon their own and you know, driven that. So definitely come and hang out and let us know your thoughts and comments.
Yep.
I think it's a really important issue.
Yeah, we should actually. Sorry, I just had another thought. We should do a quick blurb and repost on that Nifty link. I'll send it to
you. And yeah, also, if you guys have. Going back to the whole like we need permission thing to there's another side to this as well. And you know what I want to do actually is, if you're in the Uplift and you're building something, and it doesn't matter whether they're your NFTs, whether they're people that you're supporting, get in touch, because part of the point of this article isn't just saying this is a great build and we want to put it up on the site. It's saying this is a great build, but it's dedicated to this. I'm running those links out there to your NFT lines and promoting you guys as individuals, right? Like, promoting all the amazing art that you know you're either creating or promoting all the amazing ideas that you're doing, right? And like, again, sometimes we can't keep up, right? And there's like community incentives. There's a thing right now happening in the Discord. It has nothing to do with us, but it's a really cool idea. One of our community members came up with this idea that, you know, he was essentially going to create a miner that's connected to both the Uplift World and our planet. And he's going to use the funds from that miner to, you know, buy up, you know, certain things. And then he's going to disperse those rewards out to the community on his own. This has nothing to do with us, but he just wants to, you know, give something back to the community that he created. So like things like this as well that you guys want to create, like, you know, again, as long as you're not representing yourself as part of the team or part of the, you know, sanctioned DAO activities in the future, there's such a plethora of possibilities that can be explored. And I mean, if you want to, how do I say this? If you want to be, so for example, if we really like your project and we look into it, like the image on a cup from Andrea Bello, right? Like, then that's a different story, right? But like, there's so many things that you can plug into. So let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're doing. Yeah, Chris B, right? Like I grabbed a couple miners too. I think it's great what he's doing. So I'm excited to see how this works out. So I'm putting together a post on it right now, but it's a really interesting concept. The rewards should get higher as time goes on, which is really cool. But yeah, what do you got, Corey? Anything?
Man, see, too many things. As Esther said, we need an I am the Uplift video selfies of players all over our servers, and I want to see all those as community submitted, NFTs for a big drop, but that's a whole other thing. But I love the video idea. Yeah, that's always the thing, right? Zestra, too many ideas, not enough time. Like that's, we're surrounded by amazing people like you, frankly, that will have like really amazing ideas multiple times a day. Ideas, the good ones, are dog shit. Execution is everything, and that's the hard part. But not insurmountable. We just gotta pick what we want to do and then MVP it and get it done.
And when we go for full DAO, I'm gonna vote to give myself more money so that I can hire more people to write and cover on blog channels. And if the DAO approves, then we can have a whole committee doing this stuff and pushing it out. Right? There's some really interesting possibilities around.
Here's how to get my vote. Make that an actual business.
Right.
Right? Like figure out how to deliver enough value that you're cash positive, and then threaten the DAO that you will do it outside instead of inside.
Right. That's a great.
That's what, honestly, I've got 2 projects that I'm going to map out proposals for right now. I'm not going to be asking the Uplift for any resources. I'm going to be bringing them. Right. And if the DAO doesn't want that within its aegis, that's cool. I'm going to do it anyway. Because this is NFTs. We don't need permission for shit.
Right. And